It's the sights of Northampton that welcome us back to the NXTGEN Legends on iRacing. This is Season 2 of its existence. Welcome back everyone to NXTGEN Racing on Facebook, whether you're watching there, it's Autosport TV on YouTube or Twitch. We are back with the Legends and it's good to be back. We're here in Silverstone for round 1 of the championship. The National Circuit waits us for some great Legends action. We're here in Northamptonshire, Silverstone, 65 miles northwest of London, just off the A43. And the track was first built in 1948, where it hosted the first ever Formula 1 Grand Prix. Today's layout, not the full layout, but the national layout as we mentioned. Small in length of only 1.6 miles and 2.6 kilometres. The layout is most notably used for the TOCA series. But tonight it is most notable for opening Season 2 of the iRacing NXTGEN Legends. So let's get into the thick of the action and introduce the series. NXTGEN Legends last season was a very, very exciting series indeed, where it was won by none other than Mikey Doble, our Season 1 champion, a competitor in the Ginetta series, in the TOCA series, so he's very familiar with this track, but we all know that he is a fierce, fierce racer. Second in the championship was none other than Bobby Thompson last season. Of course, if you're a British touring car fan, you'll know the name Bobby Thompson, of course. He's not racing here today, I believe. He might be racing in race 3, I'm told, but later on in the night we may see an appearance from Bobby himself. The live timing already, so not a great start, but we'll persevere. And we can see this is the kind of action that you're seeing right in front of you right now. This is the kind of action you're going to see all season. 12 rounds we have got in store for us this season. And it's going to be very, very exciting racing over the next couple of months watching that. we go. We do have some live timings, finally. A little bit of, it's always a little bit glitchy on Silverstone, I'm not sure why. It'll be a track we keep an eye on that for in the future. But let's go over the schedule for the season. Round 1 will start at Silverstone here on the 2nd of August, and then next week we'll be off to the Red Bull Ring National layout on the 9th of August. The 16th of August will be at the Snetterton 300 layout. Round 4 will be at Zandvoort, the National layout, 23rd of August. Tsukuba will take place for the 5th round, the 30th of August. Round 6, the Gilles Villeneuve circuit, aka Montreal, on the 6th of September. Round 7, Alton Park International Circuit, the 20th of September. Round 8, Nürburgring, the 27th of September. Round 9 will be the Donington Park National Circuit on the 4th of October. The 11th of October, the WeatherTech Raceway will be round 10. Round 11, Barcelona National Circuit on the 18th of October. Round 12 will be Brands Hatch Indy Circuit, which ends the TOCA series normally. On the 25th of October, we'll end it all. In a couple of months' time, we've got all them rounds and great circuits. Credit to the admins at NXTGEN for choosing them. Great circuits lining us up for the season ahead of us, including the brand new to iRacing Red Bull Ring National layout of the iconic 9 or 10 turn track that will feature next week. So that'll be an exciting one to look out for. So that's the schedule for the season. We'll keep reminding you of that as the night goes by, as the season goes by. Whereas the racing on circuit today, quite a few unfamiliar names to myself. Last season there were quite a few names that were regular attendees, and a couple here who are brand new to us. And let's start with one who's a regular turnout last season, William Ford, one of the most improved drivers last season. It's good to see him back, as it is with Matt Emmons, the admin of the Next Gen Wednesday night iRacing GT3 series. Good to see him back. Wayne Douglas appeared in a few rounds last season. Good to have him back, of course. We, of course, got the return of the defending champion, Mikey Doble. This is the season he'll want to get his name on that coveted Legends trophy for a second time, and the only driver who will appear on that driver 2 times. Looking to defend it, and let's see how he gets on this season. 3rd in the standings at the moment, behind Gordon Much, who we can see just behind the barriers there. He took part in the last round of last season at Silverstone Southern Circuit, International Circuit should we say, so the other side of this circuit. Always we see a good battle between Luke Bennett and someone else, and the two come together and see the Legends cars here. When they do collide, it normally ends in tears. It's quite the picture we saw last season of the cars coming together. And tears normally, virtual tears broken by many drivers, races ending. And a lot of drivers scuffling to get out of the pits there, not really sure why. Lee Horn, Next Gen Racer, admin of the joint Crest Autosport and Next Gen Racing Race Room League. Good to have him back. And a little mention for the admin of this series specifically, and I'm not going to battle him for that picture that he's got as his iRacing bio, but Jamie Dory, our admin, who puts on these races every Monday. Huge thank you to him on behalf of myself and the drivers for putting on such a great league. Who else have we got in the series? We have got Ollie Peters, who's in the pits there, just exiting the pits. He had a brilliant season last season where he came through throughout the season. Well, he started off the season really well and he dropped down the order a little bit, and then he rose himself back up to get himself 3rd in the championship in the end. Well, I would say he is a national, professional racer, as he does autocross, or motocross should I say, not autocross, and only last week he broke his leg, silly boy. So sim racing is his medium at the moment. Wishing him a speedy recovery, of course. But stick to 4 wheels, Ollie, not 2. But yeah, Ollie will be looking for a repeat of last season, maybe even better. But 3rd last season was an astonishing result for him, in his words. let's take a look at some of the new drivers in the grid. We've got Robert Bearable. I know Rob pretty well. He's done a few race room leagues that I've hosted over the years, so good to see him. And at my screen yet again. Luke Bennett, quite high up in the standings. I don't think Luke took part in the Silverstone round, which was round 10, the final round last season. And look at all, just to interrupt that, look at all these Legends cars barreling into Maggots here. This is the kind of racing you're going to see all season long. It's going to be great. A couple of other drivers on the circuit new to us. In fact, a driver familiar with us from last season, Stephen Daly. Yeah, sporadic appearances last season, but he always put in a pretty good performance when we did see him, so he's one to look out for, that's for sure. Steve Thompson, I believe, is related to Bobby Thompson, that's the safe thing to say. So waving the flag for the Thompson family at the moment. Bobby Thompson might be turning up in race 3, I've been told. So we'll wait on that. And quite a few. Oh, in fact, Bobby Thompson is in the server right now. He's literally just joined. So we will probably see Bobby Thompson qualifying in just under a minute's time. We've got quite a few drivers out there today. 24 drivers on the grid today, and all these drivers barreling into Maggots Corner. Exciting to watch. Oh, as Luke Bennett gets himself all loose right in front of everyone. Get a better camera angle. And there's Keith Dempsey. I know Keith. I believe he was a part of the Motorsport Games sim racing sport. I think it was on Gran Turismo. I'm thinking that, but he represented Ireland in that, and he did rather well. I seem to remember watching, so good to have him a part of the series here. We're about to get into the session. We have quite a lot of British drivers in the server, British and Irish drivers. There's quite a few international drivers, including Donovan Strauss, Blaze Crawford, we did see last season, and Robert Lundgren of Sweden. There are non-British drivers in our race today. Qualifying has started, and we'll get underway for the very first qualifying session of the season. 10-minute qualifying session, so really not that much time. Granted, it is a short circuit, so it's not too bad at all when it comes to qualifying. There's not a huge rush to get out the pits. It's around about a minute this lap, so you can get probably about, well, you probably could get 8 or 9 laps in if you just kept it going, and or you exit the pits rather quickly. Liam McNeely not leaving the pits rather quickly, and they're all trying to get a slipstream, and that's because Silverstone National has got it's mostly flat out this circuit, especially in these cars, so a lot of drivers will want to get a slipstream to just get that little bit extra horsepower, and you see a lot of drivers screaming past, including one man here, Bobby Thompson. Welcome back to him. Second last season in the championship, battled Mikey Doble all the way to the end in that lovely chrome livery of his. And they're coming around left field now. Bobby Thompson tucking himself behind the gearbox of Paul Hayo. We're going to go with Mikey Doble, and Mikey Doble is going to give us an on-board of the lap here at Silverstone. So we'll join him now. Brilliant camera angle in this Legends car here. So we come through left field, taking a very, very deep exit, late apex here, to get as good a straight line speed as he can, taking all the curb on the outside there within the track limit. Mikey Doble will start his first qualifying lap of the season. And we go up the straight. We'll head towards Copse, famous for that collision between Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen a few weeks ago. Through Copse Corner, dropping down one gear, easing off the throttle just a little bit, keeping it within the track limits as we exit Copse there. Up towards Maggots we go. And we're not going to go through Beckett, we are going to turn left, and then it's going to be a hard turn to the right to get round the Maggots Corner and onto the Wellington Straight. Taking a little bit of that curve, easing it out to the left, following that sausage curve on the left there, and out wide across the DRS line. Of course, no DRS in these cars. Of course there isn't. Down we go. Going up the gears. 170 kilometers per hour as we come into Brooklands, breaking down into third gear. Mikey Doble comes round the final corner now. Luffield still in third gear, eases on the throttle, doesn't want to put it on too much, to spin the rear wheels too much. But that was a lap of Silverstone on board with our defending champion, Mikey Doble. And standing so far, Keith Dempsey, who we just mentioned, our esports hero, second place at the moment, as Gordon Much just goes top of the standings. He was quickest in the practice, so very much expected from Gordon Much. Top of the standings on his first lap, first completed lap, first valid lap. 3.5 minutes gone, so plenty more laps in the tank by many of these drivers, including Mikey Doble's down in 10th place, our championship winner last season, Bobby Thompson, in 8th, half a second down. Granted, Bobby Thompson has had no practice, so to be only half a second off is pretty decent. We'll see how big Bobby gets on the rest of the section. We know he's a pretty quick learner. Of course he's a pretty quick learner. Professional driver. And Luke Bennett puts himself into second place. Stephen Daly was in third. Could this be a decent lap? Keith Dempsey has just put himself back into second place. The Irishman of Turn 3 Motorsport. Stephen Daly comes around the final corner. Let's see if he gets any higher. Mikey Doble's got himself up to 9th place. Jamie Dory, our admin, 6th. Across the line will go Stephen Daly, number 4 and number 48 crossing line as well. That is Blaze Crawford. And number 48 was Gordon Much, who crosses the line to set the outright best time of the session so far. So Gordon Much is the person to beat. As he resets the pits, his name has just gone to grey in the standings there. That means he's in the pits, so he's getting on fresh tyres ready for the second half of this session, which has already come around in 20 seconds time. Stephen Daly stays 4th at the moment. So first and second in the championship last season, Mikey Doble and Bobby Thompson. Bobby Thompson's on his way out of the pits, apparently, is his out lap. But Mikey Doble, might this be a good lap from him? Let's see. As Lee Horn puts himself just ahead of the aforementioned Mikey Doble. Into 9th place he went. 10th place for Mikey Doble. Through Woodcote he goes. Across the line. And Mikey Doble comes to a stop before he gets to the line. Yes, pretty much. No, just after he got to the line. And resets to the pits to get fresh tyres on, ready for the second half of the session, which we're now in. It's flown by already. Gordon Much is still in the pits. Does he seem to think he's done enough? It's pretty brave. But granted, he is quarter of a second ahead of anyone. More than a quarter second ahead of anyone. Huge grid here today as well. 25 drivers, great to see. And well, these are great cars to drive around. They're like go-karts almost. It's so small, but very, very powerful. And you can have such great racing in these, which you're going to see over the next 13 weeks. This is Keith Dempsey going around the final corner now. Go through the Woodcote Cove. Technically, Luffield's not the final corner, so I don't know why I keep saying that. It's the most notable final corner when you have to slow down the car. And Luke Bennett goes across the line, doesn't go quicker. Neither does Keith Dempsey, so it's still quarter of a second clear from Gordon Much, who's still in the pits, just sitting there, not going out on track. He's the only driver who's not out on track at the moment. So we switch to Liam McNally and also Seth Hopkins. We haven't mentioned him. I think Seb did one race last season. So welcome back to Seb. And up to 5th place goes none other than Bobby Thompson, one of the fan favourites. Of course, we are missing the we are missing Dave Newsham. We are missing his fans who graced our Facebook chat on the live broadcast all of last season. We're missing him tonight, unfortunately, but hopefully we'll see him back during the season. They were great entertainment just as much as he was, and he did great to get himself into the top 10 in the championship last season. Didn't start off the season all that well, Dave Newsham didn't, but did brilliant towards the end, getting himself into the higher positions and winning some races towards the end of the season. Excuse me. Bobby Thompson slowing down, trying to get a good draft from someone ahead of him, either that or trying to get some open air. I think that's what he was trying to do. Let's see what else is going on track while Bobby Thompson gets a lap in. Robert Lundgren has gone quicker. His absolute quickest in 21st at the moment. Lee Horn in 11th. He is second in the championship in the Crest Autosport and in alliance with Next Gen Racing Race Room League. So we know Lee Horn is capable of one thing or another when it comes to sim racing. Thompson starts another lap. Doesn't go quicker on that one. Still 5th at the moment. 3/10 down from Gordon Mutch. Has to take a different line going into Maggots as the person exiting the pits there. Number 3 driver Deegan Fairclough. Obstructing the line where you go to the right hand side and then you turn in late for the corner. We're still watching Bobby Thompson. Let's see if Keith Dempsey has anything to say to Gordon Mutch. Not at the moment. A long way off in time. 107 on that last lap. You need to be doing low 106s to be super competitive on this track in this series. Gordon Mutch. Oh, as Bobby Thompson takes a spin, trying to get by someone in front of him. Takes a slide. We were watching Deegan Fairclough then, but we're watching Keith Dempsey. And usually when the camera does its automatic switch, it usually means they're on a pretty good split. So let's see if Keith Dempsey has wrapped up a pretty good lap here. Few more corners to go. Through Brooklands, now Luffield. Pulling over to the left there was Lee Horn. We're looking at Wayne Douglas as well. Out of the corner and onto Woodcote. Let's see if Keith Dempsey has anything to say. There's only going to be one lap remaining for much of these drivers now. Less than half a minute to go as of now. Keith Dempsey doesn't go any quicker. He's not too far off his time, but he needs to do a little bit better than that to threaten Gordon Mutch up front. Stephen Daly has reverted to the pit, so that'll be it for him. It'll be 4th at the least for him, or at the most, should we say. Oh, Mikey Doble puts himself into 6th position, right behind. Oh, we'll be starting alongside last season's championship rival of his, Bobby Thompson. Bobby Thompson's on an outlap, so he won't make it to the line. So a lot of drivers will now be finishing up their times. Looking at Wayne Douglas, let's take a look at Bobby Thompson. He has crossed the line, and that'll be it for Bobby Thompson. It'll be 5th on the grid for him. Keith Dempsey. He's coming around Luffield now. We'll look to Luke Bennett as well, who's coming around Luffield as well. But first we'll go with Keith Dempsey. There's quite a few drivers crossing the line here. You're looking for times that are going to go green, and you're looking for people moving across the order. Strauss puts himself 13th. Keith Dempsey. Nothing from him. Moving up the order is Crawford. Bennett goes into 2nd place. It wasn't quite enough to get into 1st place. 0.134 off the pace of Mutch, but he puts himself onto the front row. Who else have we got on track still? I believe everyone's come through. Mikey Doble, he might be able to put in a lap here. Crosses the line. Does Mikey Doble now? He doesn't. He doesn't go any quicker. So that's 6th for the defending champion on the first race of the season. A couple of drivers still out there. Whether they cross the line in time is one thing. Whether they'll make it is another. This is Liam McNally, 7th at the moment, and number 18 car, Seth Hopkins. Liam McNally seems to want to go on and finish the lap. He must have got one in time. I can't see how that could have happened. Must be a bit of additional practice for Liam. But he'll be asked to go to the pits, and that'll be qualifying over and done with for round 1 at Silverstone, and we'll go into a small 2-minute interval while we grid up. So the grid forms, and this is our starting grid for what will be the first round of Season 2 of the iRacing Next Gen Legends. Gordon Mutch on pole position. Alongside him is Luke Bennett. Keith Dempsey lines up third with Stephen Daly in fourth. Bobby Thompson will line up fifth with his championship rival last season and defending champion Mikey Doble sixth. Liam McNally will start seventh with Jamie Dory in eighth. Robert Bearable in ninth with Wayne Douglas 10th. Seth Hopkins 11th with Lee Horn in 12th. Donovan Strauss and compatriot Blaze Crawford 13th and 14th. Josh Malin and Deegan Furglow in 15th and 16th. Ollie Wayne in 17th, 18th is Paul Hayo. William Fall in 19th alongside his teammate Ollie Peters. They're on the 10th row. Matt Emmons 21st with Robert Lundgren in 22nd. Tom Delaney 23rd, Steve Thompson 24th, and at the back 25th, Josh Brown. So we will be getting underway very, very shortly for the iRacing Next Gen Legends. Welcome along to the first round of the season. This is our schedule for the season, which I think you didn't see earlier due to our glitches with the timing screen, but we have got Silverstone now, Red Bull Ring next week, and the rest of the season will follow as is displayed there. Great tracks on that list, lots of British tracks as well for a fairly British grid, including Snetterton, Alton Park, Donnington Park and Brands Hatch. Of course, Silverstone right here today. Gordon Murch lines up on the front row for the first race of Season 2, the iRacing Next Gen Legends. Lights are red. Away we go. And it's a good start for Gordon Murch straight off the line. And look at Bobby Thompson moving to the inside from the third row there. Into Copse Corner we go. Gordon Murch leads the way from Luke Bennett, Keith Dempsey in third, Stephen Daly fourth and Bobby Thompson in fifth. He has already got Mikey Doble alongside him with already a crash towards the back. It's Josh Brown, so we'll get a replay of that in a bit. Murch leads into turn 3. Through we go. Look at this, Mikey Doble. It was almost sideways there. There's a bit of an incident back here between Wayne Douglas and the car behind of Seth Hopkins. Oh, and there's a spin back there. The number 86 car, Ollie Wayne, spins, and the 72 car of Matt Emmons. But they get away fairly safe. Back towards the front. This is Gordon Murch at the front with Luke Bennett, who nearly swiped away first from in the dying moments of qualifying. Mikey Doble's dropping down the order a little bit. A bad start for him. 7th at the moment. He's got Jamie Dory right behind him. And in front of him, getting ahead of him at the start there, Liam McNally. Oh, and there's a crash at the back there. Didn't see who that was. Oh, it's Josh Malin involved in there. We'll have to get a replay of that in a bit. We've got lots going on at the front here. Murch leads the first lap of the race from Luke Bennett. At the back here, that's Ollie Wayne recovering from the incident that happened coming out of left field just then. This is Liam McNally. He's gotten himself in between 1 and 2 of last season. Mikey Doble behind him. Bobby Thompson ahead of him. Oh, and Jamie Dory taking a look to the inside of Mikey Doble then. Very quick lap here at Silverstone, so a lot is happening very, very quickly. Crocodile of 4 cars here going into Brooklands. Murch, Bennett, Dempsey and Daly. Big late braking from Bennett there in the number 1 car. Into left field we go. They're all very, very close together. And out of left field they go. Now, the thing is with Silverstone Circuit, you have to be on top of your game throughout the entire race. You need to find every opportunity to gain on your opponent ahead, which you can see Stephen Daly is doing. He's fastest on the track outright at the moment with a 106.4. That'll be because he's following the slipstream and following other cars, which is usually the quickest thing to be doing in any form of motorsport. As right up on the rear of Gordon Murch is Luke Bennett as we go into Maggots now and onto the Wellington Straight. Let's take a look further down the order. Last season, 3rd place runner Ollie Peters, struggling here in 20th behind Lundgren, his teammate Foyle and Josh Malin. But we've still got this raging on at the front. 4 cars going for it. Gordon Murch takes a wide entry into Brooklands. Liam Bennett putting his car in the view of the inside to let Gordon Murch know via his mirrors that he's there and he's willing to go for it. With Coates. Looking back now, it's Liam McNally. This is Jamie Dory as well versus Donovan Strauss, and Jamie Dory seemed to slow down quite a lot there. That might have been a slow down penalty. He's dropping a few places there. He's dropped behind Rob Bearable and Donovan Strauss there. Rob Bearable on his debut here, doing very, very well in 8th place. Coming out of Maggots. This is Steve Daly. Let's take a look on board. This is the view of the cars ahead of him. Keith Dempsey right ahead of him. To Brooklands we go. Our drivers stepping out of the slipstream just to take a look at the braking points. Slow the car down a little bit by making the air hit the car. These cars aren't hugely affected by slipstream, not quite as much as other cars, and that's why it is so important to have slipstream, because you need that little bit extra on the car in front of you. You need every little bit of slipstream you can get to get as much out of your lap times. Cross the line, it's another quick lap from Stephen Daly. Bobby Thompson in 5th place. Is he able to catch up with this front four? It's very difficult in these cars. It's finding those fine margins. It's so difficult on a track like this, in cars like these. And that's why we're going to see drivers absolutely wring the neck out of these cars and take risks, because they might not get many other options throughout the race. That's Keith Dempsey looking to the inside. I think he was just trying to break the slipstream a little bit so he can brake on his usual spot going into Brooklands. And Luke Bennett, I'm noticing he's getting a real good exit from these corners, but he can't just seem to get it on the inside of Gordon Much. Until now, maybe that is. Gordon Much squeezes Luke Bennett onto the grass before Woodcote there and keeps first place. And there was a little bit of an emergency move to the inside. He guards the inside going into Copse. This is a bit of a deja vu moment, isn't it? Except these are Legends cars, not Formula 1 cars. Into Copse Corner they go. Gordon Much still leads from Luke Bennett, and he's even closer between these drivers now. Finding the inside for the first turn of Maggots is Luke Bennett. The outside's not the ideal line to try, but he's going to try and undercut coming out of Maggots and onto the Wellington Straight. He has got himself alongside Luke Bennett and Gordon Much for the first time in this race side by side. Gordon Much has himself further ahead and has the inside for Brooklands. Can Luke Bennett do anything about this? Into Brooklands they go. Luke Bennett brakes as late as he can to try and stay alongside, but he just can't do it. And he tries the inside going into left field, but he realises that's probably not the best move to go for. We saw Mikey Doble and Bobby Thompson come together in that corner last season, and both got disqualified, excluded, shall I say, from the results as a result of the incident. That was very nearly a similar moment between Much and Bennett. Now, because Bennett went for that move, it lost him a little bit of momentum and therefore lost him a bit of gap from Much in front. And that of course welcomes the cars behind, including Dempsey and Daly. Into Maggots we go. Now Gordon Much was the outright quickest by some margin in qualifying, but when it comes to the race, slipstreaming involved, a bit of pressure added to it. He's got all these drivers behind, pounding him down. And Gordon Much put on quite a good show on the final round last season at Silverstone International circuit. I think he did win race 1 actually, I'd tell a lie. So we knew what Gordon Much was potential of. We're seeing it here today. Fresh start to the season. As things stand, we'll take a very, very healthy championship lead early in the books, but not if any of these drivers can help that. Let's have a look further back. Bobby Thompson out on his own a little bit. He's broken away from Liam McNally and Mikey Doble. Mikey Doble, our defending champion, 7th place at the moment. Donovan Strauss there battling with Robert Bearable. They're in 8th and 9th. And they're going to go side by side going into Maggots Corner. Rob trying the outside for the first turn. We'll have the inside for Maggots here. And that is a very well executed move if he finished it off here. He did hit the inside curb a little bit, so that lost him a little bit of momentum. And now Donovan Strauss has a chance to fight back. Has the inside for Brooklands. A better line to have into this corner, particularly in these cars. Still side by side, but Bearable has to tuck back in behind. Backs off a little bit, doesn't want to get too much momentum out of the corner and go up the rear of Donovan Strauss, but that was well defended from Strauss. It looked like he was beat, but Bearable pushed a bit too hard on the inside of the corner, lost a bit of momentum. Now there are reverse grids to think about here. Jamie Dory seems to be in contention for that reverse grid slot, which is 10. So if you finish 10th, you start first for the next race. Sorry, do excuse me. Oh, big error there. 12 is the reverse grid number. So it is a reverse 12 for race 2 and race 3. It will be a full reverse grid. So race 2 is real important. You can risk finishing lower down to be further up on the grid in race 3, or you can go for it. Oh, as Lee Horn is now under trouble from Seth Hopkins. There was a little bit of a lock-up from Lee Horn there, and he loses a lot of momentum to Seth Hopkins. This is the battle for reverse grid pole in this third 15-minute race, and we have got these two side by side again. This is Luke Bennett versus Gordon Mutch. Into left field we go. Bennett has the better line, but Mutch he seems to have a better momentum around left field, but Bennett hangs on to the inside. And that might have been it. That might have been a move for the lead. Round Woodcote they go. We've also got Dempsey versus Daly back there. Daly is going to be dropping behind Dempsey. Into Copse we go. Who's first into the corner? Still got the inside is Luke Bennett, but powering around Copse Corner there is Gordon Mutch. He goes very wide there. Might that have caused a slowdown? It definitely would have caused an off-track penalty. Off-track incident point. Oh, they got a little bit close there between the two wheels. And this is Daly also versus Dempsey. Dempsey has to drop off as Daly moves into third place. It's still side by side between Bennett and Gordon Mutch. Bennett in the number 1 car, Mutch in the 48 car. Mutch now has the inside for the next corner. That might have saved him, staying side by side for a whole lap now. Into Brooklands. Trying desperately to hang on is Luke Bennett, and he's now got Stephen Daly trying to get alongside him. Into left field they go. Oh, look at that. Dempsey is fighting back on the inside. Oh, there's a bit of contact between him and Stephen Daly. He now drops back into 4th place. And look who's attacking from 5th place now. It is Bobby Thompson with 4 minutes to go. He's catching up with this battle at the front, who are slowing themselves down a little bit by battling intensely. It's great entertainment, but for the sake of Bobby Thompson incoming, that means trouble for them. That was a brief bit of brilliance from these drivers. We are going to switch for a replay as Rob Bearable, who was battling with Donovan Strauss, has had an incident somewhere. Oh, and there was contact between him and Donovan Strauss, and it looked like a bit of the Formula 1 incident, but these are Legends cars. So going to Brooklands, no move for the lead just yet, and Bobby Thompson really is easing in on these drivers with 3 minutes to go in this session. We've also got our league host, Jamie Dory, involved in an incident, and that was just after Rob Bearable, and that was contact with Seth Hopkins that caused that then. So Jamie Dory drops down. I believe he's still in 12th though. He isn't, he's in 13th, so you'll have to fight back to try and get into reverse grid contention. Crawford's there at the moment, but we have got 2.5 minutes to go, and at the front here it's nearly a 5-way battle for the lead. Mutch still leads from Bennett. I believe Bennett has only led 1 lap. That was his nose just about in front, and looking to the outside now is Luke Bennett, trying to power his way around the outside. Oh, and getting very sideways there was Gordon Mutch, but he might have just hung on to it. Oh, it's still just about side by side between Mutch and Bennett, and it is still side by side between Dempsey and Daly as well. Now going down into Brooklands we go. Bennett has the inside, and Mutch eases off massively there to try and take a late apex, and a big entrance going into left field, and back there Dempsey couldn't quite find the inside of Daly, and now Bobby Thompson is up with these drivers with less than 2 minutes to go. He has a crack at the top 4 here. 5th place at the moment for the outgoing runner-up last season. Bennett crosses the line, 2 laps to go, by my prediction. Guards the inside, Much looks to the outside. That's the first time Bennett's led a lap of this race being in front and fully in front. And there's a lot of pressure on Bennett's shoulders at the moment. Much is trying every angle. He tries the same move that Bennett tried on him a lap ago, but it couldn't make it work. Took too much of a late entry, but he's got a very good exit from Maggots, and that might have found the right side of Bennett going down towards Brooklands, but it's the outside for the corner. Brilliant racing this from these drivers. No contact as of yet. Touch wood. Hopefully nothing happens to spoil anyone's race. Oh, Bennett gives room to Much on the inside and lets him have the inside for Luffield to prevent any sort of contact. There's good going from Bennett, but he does surrender second place and first place, and he might be surrendering second place here. Much has taken the lead as he'll start the final lap of this race, and Daly will now move to the inside of Woodcote and will probably take second place if he can get through Cops Corner in front. Much has the advantage at the moment, leading as he starts the final lap here at Silverstone National. Through the corner they go. Daly gets himself in front. Yes, he does. Bennett can only just tuck behind Stephen Daly. Brilliant move from Daly. Opportunistic move, and he's made that happen. Dempsey is going to try the inside of Luke Bennett. Oh, and slowing down quite a lot more than he should have was Daly, and a big spin there from Dempsey. A spin from Daly as well. There might have been contact there between all three of them, but they resume still in the top 7. One for the stewards after the race. Drama already in the NXTGEN Legends, but Gordon Much starts the season very well, qualifying on pole position, which I believe gets you a bonus point, and he'll lead the way coming around Luffield unless anything happens here, and it will be a job well done for him to take the win here at Silverstone National, the first race of the season, the iRacing NXTGEN Legends. Big win for Gordon Much on this race. Luke Bennett takes second in the end, and Bobby Thompson third place. Back on the podium is Bobby Thompson. Starts out like he did so well at last season. Liam McNeely takes 4th place with Mikey Doble, our defending champion, 5th. Keith Dempsey, with that drama at the end, finishes 6th, and the person he was involved in the drama with, Stephen Daly, in 7th. Donovan Strauss, he was involved in an incident earlier on, but he comes through to finish 8th. Wayne Douglas takes 9th, and Seth Hopkins 10th. Lee Horn takes 11th, but pole position for race 2 by finishing 12th will be Blaze Crawford. Well, what an interesting race that was. Gordon Much taking the win there. An exciting race it was. It started off a little bit nose to tail rather than a lot of moves thrown in, but as we got into the final 5 minutes, the drivers just got a little bit impatient with themselves and others and decided to go for some great moves. Brilliant to watch. Now let's go over the results before we go for a quick interval before we introduce race 2. Gordon Much takes the win from Luke Bennett. Bobby Thompson takes 3rd from Liam McNeely. Mikey Doble, our defending champion, in 5th place with Keith Dempsey, who was battling for the top 3, finishes 6th at the end, as was Stephen Daly, who finishes 7th. Donovan Strauss in 8th with Wayne Douglas in 9th. Seb Hopkins in 10th position with Lee Horn taking 11th. Blaze Crawford takes 12th and therefore takes the reverse grid pole just ahead of Jamie Dory, our league host. Paul Hayo in 14th with William Full in 15th. 16th goes to Ollie Waynes with Robert Bearable in 17th. Tom Delaney 18th with Deegan Ferklow in 19th. Ollie Peters in 20th with Robert Lundgren in 21st. Matt Emmons 22nd. Steve Thompson 23rd. 24th was Josh Brown, and Josh Malin 25th. Well, this has been round 1, race 1 of the NXTGEN Racing iRacing Legends Season 2. This is the first round of the season here at Silverstone National. We're going to go away for a quick break, and when we come back, we'll be back with race 2, another 15-minute race, but the top 12 of the results of race 1 will be reversed. So plenty of action still to see. We'll be back very, very soon. Don't go away. Welcome back everyone to Silverstone in Northampton for the opening round of Season 2, the iRacing Next Gen Racing Legends. And what a race one we have just witnessed. Already a classic in my books. Drama and brilliant racing all over the field. And we're about to see some more, I reckon, with reverse grids to take into account very shortly. And a repeat of the same track as we saw in race 1, the National layout. A very, very basic looking track, but so difficult to race on and quite difficult to drive on with its long sweeping corners and absolute precision needed to get the best out of yourself and the car on this track. Some fairly mild conditions on the circuit, as we can see there. We don't often take much notice of these conditions, but 21 air temperature and 46% humidity, which means the cars will go fairly quick on this track today. And this weather, rather unlike Northampton, as well. It's a very strange one, this for me, because this is actually my first broadcast in my new house, where I've moved from Cardiff to, well, very, very near Northamptonshire. In fact, I'm half an hour from Silverstone, so it's quite a special event for me, this one. But enough about me, more to the racing. We've got plenty of that in store. 2 more races to go tonight. A few dodgy things go on with our live timing screen at Silverstone, and only Silverstone. I'm sure it'll be fine next week. We have to load it up every 2 minutes. So, next race of the night, race 2, and race 1 was won by Gordon Much. And we've got a reverse grid of 10. So we'll go through the grid before the race starts, of course. Here we go. Right, let's get some live pictures on the go so we can see the drivers practicing out on the track. We've got Wayne Douglas out there, along with the number 4 car of Keith Dempsey. Keith Dempsey, who was the source of some drama towards the end of that opening race of the night. So we'd be looking for a bit of redemption in this race. Did very, very well, keeping right up on the top 2 throughout the race. Had a chance to go for second and it just fell apart. That's racing sometimes, sadly, but you really don't want that to be happening, particularly on the final lap of the race, particularly on, when you're battling for that top spot. So Keith will be looking for a little bit of redemption in this race, likewise with the other driver who went out with him, Stephen Daly. But a little bit more housekeeping just to pass the time before we get underway here at Silverstone National for race 2 of the night. This is the schedule for the season. So we're currently in round 1 of the championship, and then the next week we'll be off to the brand new to iRacing Red Bull Ring circuit in Austria, but that'll be the national circuit, so the lower half of the circuit that you're familiar with. Round 3 will be Snetterton 300 layout. So last season we did the 200 layout, which is basically the outer loop of Snetterton, the classic British touring car layout, almost. But we'll be doing the full layout of Snetterton. That'll be a pretty long lap in these cars, more than 2 minutes potentially. So that'll be a very interesting round 3, different to a lot of the other tracks on this schedule. Zandvoort National Circuit will be round 4, and a very, very hilly track, so that'll be very difficult for the drivers to control indeed in these cars. Tsukuba Circuit, a very, very small circuit in Japan, will be round 5 of the championship. The Circuit de Gilles Villeneuve, aka Montreal, will be round 6 of the championship on the 6th of September to see us out for the first half of the season. A week break in between the two, and then we'll be back in Britain for the Alton Park International Circuit in Cheshire. Round 7 will be Alton Park International Circuit on the 20th of Sorry, yeah, round 7. Round 8 will be Nürburgring Sprintstrecke, which is a smaller variant of the Nürburgring GP circuit that we know so well in Formula 1 and touring cars and GT racing and DTM. Very, very popular destination is Nürburgring, and it will host round 8 of the championship. Round 9 will be the Donnington Park circuit back in Britain on the 4th of October. Round 10 will be the WeatherTech Raceway, aka Laguna Seca. So we'll be seeing these cars and these drivers plunge down the corkscrew for round 10 of the championship. That'll be a very, very interesting one to watch indeed. Round, excuse me, round 11, and fairly new to iRacing, the Barcelona circuit will be the 11th round of the championship, the national circuit, so another smaller variant of the Grand Prix circuit we know so well. That'll be the penultimate round of the championship, and the final round, similar to that of the British touring cars, will be ending at Brands Hatch Indy circuit for round 12 of the championship, the 25th of October. Tremendous roster of circuits we've got in store for us this season, and all will host great racing. They've been handpicked specifically to work for these cars. Now, a lot of these tracks featured last season, and therefore the admins know that they work. But we're going to go through the grid for the start of race 2 here. So lining up on the front will be Blaze Crawford, alongside him Lee Horn, Seth Hopkins 3rd with Wayne Douglas in 4th, Donovan Strauss in 5th with Stephen Daly 6th, Keith Dempsey 7th with Mikey Doble lining up 8th, Liam McNally in 9th, Bobby Thompson 10th, 11th is Luke Bennett with Gordon Much, our race winner, in 12th, 13th to Jamie Dory, Paul Heo in 14th, William Foyle 15th with Ollie Wayne 16th, Robert Bearable 17th, 18th is Tom Delaney, 19th Deegan Fairclough, Ollie Peters 20th, Robert Lundgren in 21st, Steve Thompson 22nd, and Josh Brown 23rd. And that is the grid, and we have to do it very quickly because we are gridding up and it only takes a minute, and we're about to get underway for race 2 of the night. The iRacing NXTGEN Legends is about to get underway. Race 2 of the night. Blaze Crawford is on the front row. Lee Horn starts alongside, pointing his car towards the left side of the grid. Lights are red. Away we go. Blaze pulls straight across to guard his position on the right of him, but into Copse Corner we go. Blaze leads into turn 1, right ahead of Lee Horn, sticking his nose real close to him. And through the corner we go, and already into second place there is Seb Hopkins. Lee Horn drops down a little bit, a bad exit from Copse. Into Maggots we go. And Lee Horn is on the outside, dropping down a few places here. Stephen Daly's on the inside of Wayne Douglas there. He's in the 64 car, and out onto the main straight we go. Seb Hopkins leads still, but look at Stephen Daly, who was battling amongst the top 4 in the previous races, already got his nose into second place, 4 places up on the first half of this lap. Brilliant start from him. Oh, and a blinking car in the middle. Oh, who is that? That's going to be really causing disruptions. It's Blaze Crawford, so high ping being in America, and back there's a spin. I think that's Keith Dempsey again. Keith Dempsey has spun towards the back. We'll get a replay of that. There's a lot going on here, 3 wide, but from them drivers, oh, there's a big contact back there. That's Tom Delaney. Ollie Wayne involved as well, and look at this, 3 wide still. Lee Horn on the inside, in the middle of him. And on the outside of him is Wayne Douglas. It's Donovan Strauss in. Wide goes Wayne Douglas. Off the track he goes in the Cyan 66 car. Can he keep it on track? And look at all these cars just packed together. Another 3 wide involving Lee Horn, and slowing down there is Bobby Thompson. That might be a slow down penalty, running 2 wide at Copse Corner. Avoiding him then was Jamie Dory on the inside then. Mikey Doble up to 8th at the moment, still where he started, battling with number 48 car, Gordon Much there it seems. We've got Lee Horn right behind the 17 car of Liam McNally. Into Brooklands we go. Now let's catch up with a few incidents, or in fact we'll stay with it. Mikey Doble right on the inside of Lee Horn. He's our defending champion, Mikey Doble, and he's trying to follow the number 48 car ahead. That's Gordon Much. He was the winner of race 1, so a good start to this race from Gordon Much. Most places gained out of the whole, second most places gained of the whole field. Steve Thompson is up 7 places back there, and he's battling with Keith Dempsey and Robert Lundgren. All wide, there goes Lee Horn. Started second, is plummeting down the order. He's got Luke Bennett trying to squeeze past in the 15 car just ahead of him, and he's battling with Mikey Doble ahead. Now let's get a quick replay of the Keith Dempsey crash into left field. He was right in the middle there, and he got tapped by our defending champion Mikey Doble. He stops in the middle of the track, and everyone does well to avoid him. He turns around very, very quickly and gets away. It was good of Keith Dempsey to just stay on the brakes and stay where he was and let people go around him. But Mikey Doble, the source of a bit of drama there, might be in trouble with the stewards later on. Stephen Daly's into the lead, as we saw earlier on. He's made the move and into first place he goes. He was battling amongst the top spots for the majority of race one, but a bit of drama hampered him. Crosses the line outright well, was outright fastest. Luke Bennett in 7th place there does the outright best of the race so far, and everyone going a bit wide there, coming off of Maggots Corner. To Maggots we go. These cars bunch together. The 48 car of Gordon Much taking a big dive bomb to the inside of Donovan Strauss. A lot of the numbers here have changed around a little bit, so it's a little bit confusing. Donovan Strauss has the number 1 car, whereas before it was Luke Bennett. Into Brooklands we go. Much has the outside, but can't get around Donovan Strauss at the moment. Or Strauss looking to the inside of Crawford ahead of him. Crawford, who was pole position, has dropped down 2 places since the start, and Stephen Daly at the front there isn't breaking away. Seth Hopkins has closed back in. Seth Hopkins, who I believe has the Frosties livery. See Tony the Tiger on the back of his car there. Yes, it is correct. Look at this between Blaze Crawford and Donovan Strauss going into turn 1. But Much gets ahead of Crawford going into Maggots Corner. We've got Mikey Doble fighting back as well. Crawford trying to hang on ahead of Liam McNally, who's in the blue and yellow livery back there. McNally moves ahead. And now Crawford is under trouble from Luke Bennett, who's in the 15 car. Bennett looks to the inside already. 48 car of Gordon Much. Oh, he's dropped back a bit. I didn't notice him do that. It might have been a slow down penalty without us noticing. Well, you guys might have noticed it and I didn't. Bobby Thompson lurking in the wings there as well in 9th place. Bobby Thompson right in between Much and Crawford. Crawford there battling with his compatriot. I assume sorry, no he's not. He's battling with Luke Bennett. The inside going through Woodcote there. They can take quite a lot of the inside curb there. Don't think they're cutting the track. You are allowed to cut that much here at Silverstone. Through Maggots Corner. Oh, and it's contact between Luke Bennett and Blaze Crawford. They get away with it, but Luke Bennett will probably get a slow down penalty there for running too wide. It bunches up a little bit behind them. Right in the middle of them is defending champion Mikey Doble. He's also got Bobby Thompson there trying to get up the inside. Bobby Thompson sneaks it on the inside and he makes the move. He's got 2 done there. No, they make contact. Doble and Thompson come together again for the first time this season now. And Thompson drops down the order. Doble has carried on. He's dropped a few places, but he carries on. Thompson drops down the order. 15th at the moment. Remember, it's going to be a full reverse grid, so this might benefit him in the feature race later on. But Thompson drops down the order. Contact with Mikey Doble again here at Silverstone. Look at McNally sneaking up the inside at left field on Donovan Strauss, but couldn't quite make it all the way through. Strauss had to evade a little bit. Oh, and guards the inside going into Woodcote there. That was a very last minute decision, but it worked. Daly still leads at the front from Hopkins. Through Cops they go. Full reverse grid of the people on the lead lap is what I believe it is. So Keith Dempsey at the moment is pole position for race 3, and that'll certainly help him. We know he's no slouch as up the inside goes. Oh, Liam McNally, and there's a lot of contact between him and Donovan Strauss. And they managed to get away with that. Usually when you bump wheels it sends you off. We saw that with Bobby Thompson on the previous lap. Strauss defending the inside down from Luke Bennett in the 15 car. Going into Brooklands, Strauss trying to give as little room as possible, and there's a bit of contact between him and McNally, and he made it to the inside, but not much room given between the two. McNally's going across left field, oh, and he just about avoids them. McNally really lucky he didn't take out anyone there. Gets away with it, and now Much is making a move for Strauss round the outside of Woodcote. Not the ideal line, but will he be able to power it around Cobb's Corner? Oh, and there's contact again. Strauss, his rear left quarter panel hits the front right quarter panel of Gordon Much. Much gets away with it. Just about. Jamie Dory has snuck into the top 6 here, having started 13th. Brilliant racing from him at the moment. 7 places gained. He's just ahead of defending champion Mikey Doble. Biggest mover of the field at the moment is Luke Bennett in 3rd place. And he'll try and hunt down the top 2 here. He got Mikey Doble behind him. Mikey Doble in livery that resembles the livery that he kind of has for his BMW saloon car and his Ginetta. I believe that livery was designed by William Foyle. It might be wrong. I seem to think that my friend William Foyle designed that livery specifically for the Legends car. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mikey. Right, sit rep. Daly leads from Hopkins in 2nd. Bennett is 3rd with Strauss in 4th. Gordon Much is in 5th. Screaming up the order from 12th so far. Mikey Doble, our defending champion, 6th. Jamie Dory 7th. Liam McNally in 8th. William Foyle is up to 9th place. 6 places gained for him, and Lee Horn is right behind him. He's dropped 8 places from the start. Robert Variable is next in 11th with Paul Heo in 12th position. Blaze Crawford next in 13th. Ollie Peters 14th, and he's got Bobby Thompson right behind him. As we mentioned, Ollie Peters is battling with a broken foot. Oh, and a spin there. Gordon Much has gone off, and there was contact between him and Donovan Strauss, I think. Gets on track. Let's take a replay of that. He was battling with Donovan Strauss going into Brooklands. He had the inside. Oh, and there's... Oh, and the two... Wow, ooh, it's hard to tell from that angle, but it just seems that Gordon Much was coming off of the apex to the outside, the natural line around the corner, and unfortunately for him, Strauss was there still. Now, these drivers do have spotters in their ear, virtual spotters, a little bit more accurate than that of real life, so if you turn across someone or drive out into someone, there's normally no excuse for that, as you do have a spotter that is, it's kind of a 99% effective sort of scenario. But let's persevere. Jamie Dory's sit, got McNally right behind him. Warren Bennett has moved into 2nd place. We'll get a replay of that move. It might have just been a simple move up the inside of Seth Hopkins, but Luke Bennett charging towards Stephen Daly. Bennett, who started 9 places down from where he is now. Oh, there's a spin in the middle there. That was Steve Thompson. Just about avoided everyone. So Stephen Daly leads this race still. He's led pretty much for the majority of the race. There has been an instant further back is involved Blaze Crawford. There's him and Bobby Thompson. Oh, and Thompson a bit of a tap from behind. He went through the corner a lot quicker than Crawford did. But that makes Crawford's race go from bad to worse, and he's in 15th. This is Jamie Dory down in 7th. He's dropped behind Liam McNally, who's moved ahead of Strauss as well. There's a full reverse grid, and I believe it's the drivers who are on the lead lap. So Keith Dempsey in 19th place. A lot of the drivers in their positions. Tyres might have worn off a little bit. These tyres do wear very quickly in these Legends cars. And with all that battling, it might have worn off the tyres a little bit. Luke Bennett still doing pretty decent lap times of 106.8. about 3/10 slower than the quickest lap times we've seen of the night. 3/10 on this track is quite a lot. Luke Bennett has no answer yet to Stephen Daly. It was intense battling between them in race 1. Back here, William Fall alongside Lee Horn. This is the battle for 8th and 9th. Behind them, they've got Robert Bearable and Gordon Mutch trying to fight his way back. Side by side between William Fall and Lee Horn. And these are two drivers who fought together very much many times on iRacing and Race Room. And Lee Horn, can't quite complete the move. He gets himself all out of shape, still out of shape. And everyone swerves to avoid, including Robert Bearable and Gordon Mutch. Mutch has dropped a position potentially to Robert Bearable. Can't quite get past Lee Horn just yet. Oh, and Luke Bennett has made a move for the lead. Get a replay of that. But it's still side by side between these two. Let's get a quick replay of that before we resume. And he was around Luffield. And look how much Stephen Daly understeered going into Luffield. That was easy pickings in a Legends car on this track for Luke Bennett. I'm sure Stephen Daly is going to fight back, as we can see here. Into Luffield, nothing between them, and there's a bit of a battle between Bearable, Foyle and Gordon Mutch. Let's watch them going into Brooklands here. 3 wide going into Brooklands there. On the inside is Gordon Mutch. William Fall brakes later, but understeers away from the corner. Bearable's able to hang on to it. And a bit of contact between him and William Fall. Lee Horn backs out of it, but Mutch gets past both of them in one corner. Brilliant move from Gordon Mutch. Still battling, still fighting for that top 10 spot. But Bennett leads the way still, and he's still got Daly right behind him. Luke Bennett has had a blinder of a race here. 10 places gained, the most of everyone. Still, what a blinder this has been for him. Through Brooklands he goes. And this is the final lap, so Bennett saved it to the penultimate lap, and he's made it, and Daly has got no say about it. Daly led for most of the race, but Bennett saved it till the very last lap, carving his way through the field. What a race this has been for Luke Bennett, and he'll take the checkered flag here at Silverstone to win race 2. The iRacing Next Gen Legends Season 2, Round 1, Race 2 here at Silverstone. Stephen Daly takes 2nd, and Seth Hopkins rounds off the podium. Race 1 winner comes through in 8th. That is Gordon Mutch. After a little bit of drama, he just about comes through to get himself a top 8 placing. And coming through in 19th will be Keith Dempsey, who I presume, based on what it was last season, whereas people on the lead lap, he will get himself reverse grid pole. It's been a pretty unlucky night for Keith Dempsey, but it's been a very good night for Luke Bennett in the first position. So there we go. That has been race 2 of the night, and what a race it was. Luke Bennett takes the win, gaining 10 places from the start to take that first place. Stephen Daly takes second place from Seth Hopkins in 3rd place, hanging on to that top 3 spot all the way through the race, keeping the pressure on. Liam McNally in 4th position. A good drive from him. Mikey Doble at the source of some drama. A couple of contacts here and there, but 5th place for him. Donovan Strauss in 6th with Jamie Dory in 7th. Gordon Much takes an 8th place with William Fall in 9th. Rob the Bearable in 10th with Lee Horn behind in 11th. Paul Hayo in 12th with Bobby Thompson 13th. Wayne Douglas takes 14th with Blaze Crawford in 15th. Ollie Peters takes 16th with Robert Lundgren in 17th. Tom Delaney 18th from Keith Dempsey, who I believe gets the reverse grid pole for the next race. Deegan Fairclough in 20th with Josh Brown in 21st. Steve Thompson 22nd and Ollie Wayne, who did not finish the race, 23rd. What a race that has been. But we've got another race coming up, another 15-minute race, but a full reverse grid, so even more action potentially. Don't go away, we'll be back very, very soon with the Next Gen Racing iRacing Season 2 Legends here at Silverstone. Don't go away, we'll be right back. Welcome back everyone to Silverstone in Northampton for what is the end of the night. 3 races about to be completed. The third race coming up right now. 15-minute race upcoming, and it's going to be very, very exciting. If the first 2 races have anything to say about that, here we are in Northamptonshire yet again for the third race of the night. And throughout the season we've got plenty of great small tracks like this and a couple of big tracks, but all tracks very well suited to the Legends. The go-to series this is for circuit racing in the Legends cars, which are synonymous on iRacing for being oval circuit cars and short oval circuit cars. But this series gives you your fix on the cars that work very well, actually, surprisingly well actually, for circuit racing. So here we go, live pictures of the action. Drivers getting a little bit of testing before race 3 is underway, and it's a full reverse grid. And we'll go through the grid before the race starts, so a little bit more housekeeping. This is the iRacing NXTGEN Legends series. You can get involved in the NXTGEN racing leagues. There's plenty of racing involved. There's iRacing Race Room, Assetto Corsa Competizione, Gran Turismo, F1 2020 and 2021 soon, I believe. Project Cars 2 or 3, I believe, still kicking them out, so plenty of diversity and choice. And whether you are a PC racer or a console racer, i.e. PlayStation 4 or 5, NXTGEN is a good place for you to get involved in league racing, in sim racing, whether you have a controller, whether you have a wheel. It's very well suited to diverse drivers. But this series, Legends, we have got plenty coming up over the next 13 weeks, and it all started today at Silverstone National Circuit right here, right now. But next week we're off to the brand new to iRacing Red Bull Ring Circuit, the national layout, which is the lower half of the circuit. That'll be very, very interesting indeed. Not many corners on that track, so it's going to be a little bit like this one, where it's very difficult, but the racing is going to be a lot of sideways action. Is going to be very, very close between all the drivers. Round 3 is Snetterton on the 16th of August, the 300 layout, which is used with most GT racing and the touring cars. Zandvoort National Circuit, which is the lower half of the famous Zandvoort circuit, which will now be hosting Formula 1. Coming up soon, actually, that round of Zandvoort in Formula 1, so that'll be good to watch. Tsukuba will host round 5 of the championship, a very, very small and narrow circuit, which will be good excitement for these drivers in these cars. Round 6, the Circuit de Gilles Villeneuve, a bit of an unsung hero, one of the greatest tracks ever, and it doesn't really get talked about quite a lot. A lot of people sort of forget and go, oh, it's a pretty good circuit actually. Round 6 hosts Montreal, a week break in between round 6 and 7. 7 will be back for the Alton Park International Circuit. What a track that is. It hosted a great race last season, but it will host round 7 of the championship. Round 8, it will be the Nürburgring Sprint Strecke, which is a Sprint Strecke, which is a smaller variation of the Nürburgring Grand Prix circuit that we know so well. Round 9, the Donnington Park National Circuit, the one with the chicane instead of going into the Melbourne Loop, used all the time with the British touring cars. Round 10, the WeatherTech Raceway, which is renamed from what we know as Laguna Seca. That'll be the start of the final 3 rounds of the season. Round 11 will be Barcelona National Circuit, so another short variation of a Grand Prix circuit that we know so well. And Brands Hatch Indy, round 12 of the championship. Normally ends the British Touring Car Championship, will be ending this championship on the 25th of October. You can still get involved in the series. All you have to do is go into the description of this video, whether you're watching on Facebook, YouTube or Twitch. Do go into the description, you can find the link to the relevant group that will get you involved in the series. Type NXTGEN Racing into Facebook, you'll find their Facebook page and Facebook group. Contact either of them to get involved in the series. You can go to their website as well, nextgenracing.co.uk. So the Legends Race 3 coming up now. We've had two different winners tonight, Luke Bennett being one of them in Race 2 and Gordon Much in Race 1. Two drivers who weren't at the forefront of last season, so it's been a fairly different season so far here. Thompson and Mikey Doble not really at the heights of what they were last season, but it is a long season, 12 rounds, and it is one of those series where scoring points is crucial no matter what. A little amount of DNFs, an instant as possible, gets you good points in this championship, as we saw with a few drivers last season, i.e. Ollie Peters, who finished third last season in the championship. He won one race, but all he did all season was just kept finishing, as we see Ollie Peters, weirdly enough, spinning off in the foreground just then. So, yeah, finding the limits is Ollie Peters then. But we saw it with Lee Horn as well, Jamie Dory, William Ford. They're just drivers that are just finishing and scoring points, and that's what counts in this series. And we're a few seconds away from getting going for our third race of the night, as we watch Ollie Wayne go through Maggots Corner there with the 13 car of Jamie Dory battling around him. And I've been told to look very closely at the left front of Jamie Dory's car. Look for the albino gorilla, apparently. I'm not seeing it. Oh, he gets a big chance there. Maybe they knew we were watching. But we can see the albino gorilla on the bottom left there next to Jamie Dory's name tag. Very professional of him, our league host. But we're about to get underway for race 3, so without further ado, we'll go through the grid for the next race of the night. It is Deegan Fairclough who will start on... Is this the right grid? Something tells me that's not the right grid, so we'll try again. That's more like it. Steve Thompson is on pole with Josh Brown in second. Deegan Fairclough in third with Keith Dempsey in fourth. Fifth is Tom Delaney with Robert Lundgren in sixth. Ollie Peters in seventh with Blaze Crawford eighth. Wayne Douglas ninth with Bobby Thompson 10th. Paul Hayo in 11th. Lee Horn 12th. 13th is Robert Bearable with William Fall in 14th. 15th is Gordon Much. 16th Jamie Dory. Donovan Strauss in 17th with Mikey Doble in 18th. Liam McNally 19th, Seth Hopkins 20th, 21st is Stephen Daly, Luke Bennett is in 22nd, and Ollie Wayne will line up at the back in 23rd. So we're about to get underway for race 3 of the night. The drivers have lined up on the grid, and we're about to get underway. Away we go for race 3 of the night. And it's a good start, in fact, from Steve Thompson. Deegan Fairclough didn't get a good start, but Keith Dempsey into turn 1 we go, and is already drama at the back. Oh, loads of cars spinning off, including Mikey Doble and Seth Hopkins. 87 car off as well, so it's not a good start to this race at all. One person spins and collects all the others, and it's still happening back there. But going into Maggots Corner, oh, look at that. Steve Thompson running very slowly. And a yellow flag has been thrown. A full course caution has been thrown. We haven't seen this in the Legends yet. So drivers will have to slow up and catch up with the safety car slowly. And this will bunch up the grid, so it saves a lot of drivers' skin. But the track was technically blocked, and therefore it means that a safety car must come out. So while we are catching up with the safety car, let's get a little bit of a replay of what happened, because that was a little bit confusing to watch. So that's the first bit of drama. Lundgren spins in front of everyone, and everyone just sort of goes into the corner. All a bit lopsided. So let's see if we can get an onboard from Mikey Doble. See his view of it. Mikey Doble goes to avoid. Yeah, and also avoiding was Seth Hopkins, who hit Mikey Doble. Let's take a look at the 87 car of Deegan Fairclough. He got involved at the front there and then just collected everyone, and all that Legends car definitely will have a lot of damage on it. That will barely be running now. It's hard to tell what actually happened. What what we will do is go to the front and get one more replay. Actually, that wasn't far back enough. And there was two instances. There was the 4 car and the 87 car. The 4 car was Blaze Crawford, and the 87 car, yeah, not too sure, but it was very, very confusing indeed. Two incidents that caused a big pile up, and that's why we have a safety car out now. Steve Thompson will lead the way, and I thought he slowed off almost instantly going into Maggots Corner and nearly collected a few cars, but what you're technically supposed to do is ease off steadily. You don't want it to go too quick under safety car conditions. Steve Thompson, this is a rundown of the order. Granted, a little bit of a mix-up from the start. So Steve Thompson is at the front with Keith Dempsey in second place, Tom Delaney in third. The biggest gainer through all of that was Luke Bennett, our race 2 winner. Gordon Much, our race 1 winner, managed to find his way through and is in 9th at the moment. Ollie Wayne, 10 places gained, he's there in 13th. More drivers who suffered back there. Blaze Crawford is one of them. And catching back up now is Robert Lundgren. Mikey Doble will get another crack at the whip here. He'll have to come through the order. We do have Bobby Thompson still in. He has a lot of damage though. Look at that right front. Quite a lot of damage on that right front. So Bobby Thompson's car will not be performing up to scratch. So this will be very, very interesting indeed. And we're none the wiser as to whether the safety car is coming in or not. I can't quite see the lights on the safety car at the moment. A lot of the drivers will know their tyres, which is usually a good indicator. Steve Thompson letting the pace car go up ahead a little bit. Backs up the field. This could be a green light. All the drivers bunching up as we come around left field here, ready to restart the race. Thompson will lead Dempsey through left field. And foot down from Thompson, and away we go. And it'll be a green light, and a lot of drivers already going for moves. Wayne Douglas is going for the inside of Tom Delaney, and he's passed, and we'll start the race here again. Lights go green, and a lot of drivers already making moves back there. Through Cops Corner goes Steve Thompson. Oh, and there's already another incident. That's Ollie Wayne, and he was involved with, I think that was Liam McNally, and he'll carry on. But back at the front, Wayne Douglas versus Steve Thompson going into Maggots we go. Wayne Douglas is on the inside and he gets through. Keith Dempsey is on the inside in the 17 car, and he's got past Steve Thompson. Tom Delaney is also trying his hands on it. Tom Delaney's on the outside there in the 555 machine. Down towards Brooklands we go. Wayne Douglas takes the lead here at Silverstone. Into Brooklands. And the thing is with the safety car, it doesn't stop the clock. So the clock was still going, which means there's less time for racing from these drivers now. Ollie Peters is in there. A little bit of contact. Oh, and that's a spin from the 41 car. That was Steve Thompson. We'll have to get a replay of that just to keep an eye on what happened. There was contact between him and Ollie Peters. Sends him round. I don't think he collected anyone. Phew, very thankful he didn't collect anyone. So, Wayne Douglas and Keith Dempsey still battling. Dempsey was running at the front in race 1, and he makes a move for the lead, and it's a very good move for the lead. Keith Dempsey, a esports contender, world esports contender, takes the lead here in the NXTGEN Racing iRacing Legends in race 3. Did brilliant in race 1, but got a little bit unlucky towards the end. Gordon Much already up to 4th place, 11 places gained. Liam McNally gaining places, many places yet again. If there's a Forever Forward award, he's definitely in contention for that already. 14 places gained for him. Oh, and contact between Gordon Much and Tom Delaney. Delaney's dropping down, and there's contact between everyone almost. And he drops down. He's stuck on the curb there. He won't be able to rejoin. And there's a lot of cars off, but we resume at the front. Dempsey takes the fastest lap of the race. Gordon Mutch takes third, and there was something happened between him and Tom Delaney then, which caused that incident. Trying to see if I can find it. It was. Mutch puts it on the inside. He did have the inside, but Tom Delaney, was he given enough time to know he was there? Back to the front. And this is the battle for 5th place. Lee Horn heads that battle in front of Steve Daly, who nearly won race 1. Bobby Thompson's there in 7th place. Seth Hopkins behind, 12 places gained for him. Something's happened to Wayne Douglas. He's in the pits. Not entirely sure why. Might have got a mechanical flag. Might be a drive-through penalty for some reason or another. But Wayne Douglas is out of contention for this race to serve a drive-through penalty of some sort. Thompson there in 6th place, trying to gain on Lee Horn and Stephen Daly ahead. 4th and 5th respectively at the moment. Thompson taking a look to the inside of Lee Horn. Lee Horn knows if he leaves the door open at all, Bobby Thompson will come, even with damage on his car. And now Thompson will challenge Horn as we come towards Brooklands Corner. Keith Dempsey still leads, and he's 1.9 seconds clear of race 1 winner Gordon Mutch. So could be a big battle between them two brewing. We're in the second half of the race already. It really doesn't feel like we're that much further into the race, as we missed a lot of it being behind the safety car. Got Bobby Thompson there. Seth Hopkins also trying the inside. 13 places gained for him. Brilliant start to this race from him. He's got Jamie Dory behind as well. Luke Bennett, our race 2 winner there. And he's ahead of Mikey Doble. Mikey Doble not having his best of nights. Mikey Doble, at the beginning of last season, he didn't win a race until the 3rd round of the season. So Mikey Doble knows how to win championships. But is tonight the best of starts for him? Not too sure. But this man leads, Keith Dempsey. And he was pretty much on par with Gordon Mutch's pace in race 1. Liam McNally here is also very, very quick indeed, so it's top 3 and top 4 even. Could be quite an interesting battle. Lee Horn still battling with Bobby Thompson there, holding Thompson to the outside. Oh, and up the inside of Jamie Dory. There goes Seb Hopkins, and a little bit of contact as Seb Hopkins understeers to the outside of Brooklands. Dory backs out of it, and thankfully nothing happened between them. As a result of that contact, away they go. Jamie Dory dropping the position to 8th. That is Keith Dempsey, but he's ahead of Wayne Douglas, who's been lapped. Gordon Mutch back here is gaining steadily on Keith Dempsey, probably not enough per lap. Less than 5 minutes to go. Dempsey, who had a terrible second race, and nearly had a very, very good first race, challenged for second, even first even, but on the final lap got brought down the order due to contact. So it's been a bit of a miserable night for Dempsey, but he'll feel better about winning this race if he does win this race. Horn and Thompson still battling. 2 of the admins of this series, Bobby Thompson and Lee Horn, co-admins of this series alongside Lee Horn, Jamie Dory. Thompson probably struggling with the damage on that car, so he has to drive it a little bit differently to what he would when the car's behaving normally. Gordon Mutch is a 10th quicker than Keith Dempsey. Keith just needs to keep driving like that and he'll finish well ahead. On back here we've got Seth Hopkins ahead of Jamie Dory here. And gets himself in front. Seth Hopkins making some moves in this race. 13 places gained. throughout much of last season, it was Bobby Thompson who was making the moves and making the big gains through the field, but today it's been drivers like Luke Bennett and Liam McNally who've been powering through the field. Liam McNally in third at the moment, 16 places gained in this race. I imagine the incidents at the beginning might have helped, but third place at the moment, you can't knock that at all. Dempsey leads at the front. Just needs to keep going and he'll take this win here. Thompson squeezed ahead of Lehorn as we saw earlier, and into the top 5 again for Bobby Thompson. Doesn't mean notable Bobby Thompson driving tonight, but he did arrive in the server very, very late, so, you know, lack of practice thereof. I think maybe at the Red Bull Ring, if he gets a bit more practice under his belt in the pre-session to qualifying, he'll be able to challenge up the front a bit more often than he has today. With a big charge towards the front in race 1, but didn't have enough time to battle. Did get himself into third though with the incident that happened at the end. He now goes to defend the inside for Lehorn. That car's probably not running on all cylinders due to the damage. Lehorn couldn't get alongside on the outside. Has to retain back behind and cover off Seth Hopkins as well. And back here we've got Luke Bennett on the inside of Jamie Dory. Jamie given just enough room to Luke Bennett on the inside. There's 2 next-gen cars in there. There's 2 Frosties livery cars in there. It's Bennett and Hopkins versus Horn and Dory. Big battle on track here. Just over a minute to go. 2 laps to go for Keith Dempsey up front. 1.4, 1.3 seconds between him and Gordon Mutch. As long as he keeps going, Mutch won't catch him. Got Dory right in between the 2 Frosties vehicles. Hopkins and Bennett. Tries the outside. He's going to be a bit isolated out there. Contact between him and Hopkins. Oh, they just about keep it going, but they'll lose a position and maybe another position to Mikey Doble, who's there in the wings. And we've also got Lehorn challenging again on Bobby Thompson, but Mikey Doble understeers and can't get it right. He just can't get it hooked up tonight. He's in 9th. Oh, and a big hit at the rear on Seth Hopkins. Well, not a big hit at the rear, but it's probably enough to send it wide. Mikey Doble tries it on the inside, but couldn't quite get it. Keith Dempsey starts his final lap here. A little bit of redemption from race 1, but he's got to hang on this lap ahead of Gordon Mutch in 2nd place. What a night it's been for him. I think I might be right in guessing that he might be championship leader after tonight. Liam McNally will also be one to contend for championship lead after tonight, as well as Luke Bennett. But the man of the hour, the man of the race right now is Keith Dempsey, who will come through to win this race, pending the final 3 corners here. 3 different winners tonight, and it's been some thrilling action. On the corner goes Keith Dempsey. Through left field, a second between him and Mutch, so he did lose time while Mutch has been in 2nd place, but it doesn't matter. All that matters is he's come through to win this race. Comes around Woodcote for the final time and takes the checkered flag. Keith Dempsey is your race 3 winner, and Gordon Mutch takes 2nd, another podium for him, and Liam McNally taking 3rd place with 16 places gained. Stephen Daly with 17 places gained takes 4th, and 5th place for Luke Bennett, 16 places gained, and a big photo finish between him, Lehorn and Bobby Thompson, 5th, 6th and 7th. Seth Hopkins is in 8th, Mikey Doble, a defending champion, in 9th. Jamie Dory rounds off the top 10. Brilliant racing by all tonight. Brilliant racing in that race specifically as well. This is Steve Thompson battling with Ollie Waynes towards the end of this race. Excuse me, that's Josh Brown ahead of him. But brilliant racing tonight, thoroughly enjoyable. Don't forget everyone that the next race is Red Bull Ring in 1 week's time. Tune in to Crest Autosport TV on YouTube or Twitch, or NXTGEN Racing on Facebook to watch the action live yet again. And Thompson comes across the line to complete the race, and we can give you a roundup of our results here tonight. Dempsey takes the win, redemption for what happened in race 1. Much takes second, 2 podiums for him tonight. Liam McNally in 3rd. Stephen Daly 4th with Luke Bennett in 5th. Lee Horn in 6th with Bobby Thompson 7th. Seth Hopkins 8th with Mikey Doble in 9th. Jamie Dory 10th with Robert Bearable in 11th. Robert Lundgren in 12th. Blaze Crawford 13th with William Fall in 14th. 15th Ollie Peters. 16th Ollie Wayne. 17th Steve Thompson with Wayne Douglas in 18th. 19th is Josh Brown with Paul Hayo in 20th. Tom Delaney 21st and Deegan Thurklow 22nd. Donovan Strauss rounding off the field in 23rd. A lot of those drivers at the bottom there, casualties to the incident that happened at the beginning of the race. But your race winner was Keith Dempsey. That has been the Next Gen Racing iRacing Legends, the introduction to Season 2, round 1 of the championship here at Silverstone. Next time, do ignore the little leftover graphic there, but next up is Red Bull Ring, 1 week from today. Tune in to Crest Autosport TV on YouTube or Twitch, and tune in to Next Gen Racing on Facebook to catch the action next week live. My name has been Alex Everett on behalf of Crest Autosport. Welcome along to Next Gen Racing, the Season 2 of this brilliant championship. We'll see you next week. Thank you for watching. Give us a like and subscribe on all the channels. Join the group Next Gen Racing on Facebook to see the action closer. But we'll see you next time otherwise. Thank you very much for watching.